Hello and welcome to Bible Bites Daily. We have reached Numbers chapter 7, a chapter often overlooked but filled with rich lessons about generosity, worship, and the beauty of heartfelt offerings. As we explore these verses, may our hearts be stirred to a deeper understanding of what it means to bring our gifts before the Lord. We find a unique and detailed account of the offerings brought by the leaders of the 12 tribes of Israel. Picture this: each leader, representing their tribe, brings a set of offerings to dedicate the tabernacle. It's a remarkable scene of communal worship and heartfelt generosity. Now, you might be wondering, why does Numbers chapter 7 delve into such meticulous details about the offerings? What can we learn from this seemingly exhaustive list of gifts? Let's begin by understanding the context. The tabernacle, a sacred dwelling place for the presence of God, had been completed. Now, the time had come for the leaders of each tribe to bring their offerings, demonstrating the unity and devotion of the entire community. In verses 1 to 9, we read about the offerings brought by Naasan, the leader of the tribe of Judah. He presented 6 covered wagons and 12 oxen, each dedicated to a specific service in the tabernacle. Imagine the sight of these valuable and practical gifts, symbolizing the willingness of the tribe of Judah to support the ongoing work of God. The lesson here is clear. Our offerings to God are not limited to what is convenient, but extend to what is valuable and sacrificial. The tribe of Judah teaches us about the beauty of giving with a spirit of generosity and a heart devoted to God's service. Continuing through the chapter, we encounter the leaders of each tribe, one after another, presenting their offerings. Each leader brought identical gifts, emphasizing the unity and equality among the tribes in their devotion to God. The offerings included silver plates, bowls, and spoons filled with fine flour and oil, along with various sacrificial animals. In our lives today, we may not bring physical offerings of silver plates and sacrificial animals, but the principles remain relevant. The heart of worship is not just in what we say, but in what we give. It's about presenting our best before the Lord, offering our time, talents, and resources with a spirit of unity and equality. Let's take a moment to reflect on our own offerings to God. Are we presenting our best with a heart of unity, or are we holding back? The lesson from this chapter is that our offerings, whether big or small, are significant in God's eyes when they come from the heart devoted to Him. Now, consider verses 10 to 89, where the chapter details the offerings brought by each tribe. It might seem like an extensive list, but embedded in these verses are stories of individuals and communities expressing their love for God through their gifts. The offerings were not just a checklist of items. They were expressions of devotion, testimonies of faithfulness, and commitments to the ongoing work of God. The variety of gifts, from gold and silver to animals and grain, highlighted the diversity within the community and the multifaceted ways individuals could contribute to. As we read through these verses, let's recognize the beauty of diversity in worship. God doesn't expect us to offer the same gifts or talents. He delights in the unique ways each of us express love and devotion. Whether through acts of service, financial contributions, or the sharing of our skills, every offering is a valuable part of the larger tapestry of worship. Now let's shift our focus to verses 84 to 89, where the dedication of the altar is described. After all the offerings were presented, Moses entered the tabernacle to commune with God. And the Lord spoke to him from above the mercy seat. It was a sacred moment, marking the completion of the tabernacle and the divine approval of the people's offerings. This underscores a crucial truth. Our offerings, when given with a sincere heart, open the door to communion with God. The act of giving draws us closer to His presence, and in return, God blesses us and approves the work of our hands. As we continue our reflections in this chapter, let's carry these lessons into our lives today. Our offerings are not just about what we bring physically, but about the condition of our hearts. God desires gifts that come from a place of unity, equality, diversity, and of sincere devotion. In your own journey of faith, consider what offerings you are bringing before the Lord. How are you contributing to the work of God in your community and beyond? Whether it's through your time, resources, talents, or acts of service, may your offerings be a fragrant aroma, pleasing to the Lord. Remember, it is not mandatory that you bring a lot of presents to God, but whatever you give, however small it is, make sure that you are giving with a generous and devoted heart. Thank you for listening. May God bless you all in abundance.